Hey everyone, here is a update on the Oldelicious, my 53 Chevy Shop Truck. And what I would show you today is the motor mounts. You can see are kind of roughed into place. Here's my motor over here. Putting a Chevy 454 with a 5-speed transmission behind it. That's a TKO 500. So after mocking it into place and using some 3/8 OSB as kind of a template, kind of showing after I had it in place with the motor mounts on the engine, kind of set it there and moved it forward and back and side to side to where I wanted it. Then I took the plywood template off and fabbed a little 3/8 steel plate to weld in its place, kind of over the same location where the S10 motor mount is, but it did shift it backwards. I was trying to get it as close to the firewall as possible so that I'd have room up front here for the radiator and all the components, power steering, AC, water pump, alternator. So it will be tight, and I could have probably pushed it back more by relieving the firewall here, but I didn't want to push it too far. I'll show you once I get this back kind of mocked into place. I'll show you the constraints I was working with. One of them was inside the cab where the transmission goes. It kind of didn't want to push it back too much farther than where that opening is. So we'll come back to that and I'll show it some more with the engine in place. I found a seat to go in here, and one of the issues I was working with is I wanted to be able to take the gas tank out, which I did, and then be able to slide the seat back a little further. Well, this original seat for this doesn't slide too far back because they were accommodating the fuel tank, and it also doesn't lean forward. The seat doesn't lean forward, so you can't get behind it, so I didn't like that. So I went out and found a different seat. This is from a mid, or actually late 80s, early 90s Chevy full-size truck, and it has the right width, has a good base on it already, so I've kind of liked the way that's gonna fit. In order to do that, I had to take this part out. That's the it's the seat base from the original truck. And I figure I'd leave that vertical piece along the back just to add stiffness to the cab. I don't need to take it out, but I still could, I guess. And I'll put the seat in there, you can kind of see where that goes. So here is the seat in place. And like I said, it sits flat on the floor, so that's kind of nice. This is pushed all the way back for my liking. And then there you can get behind it, and there's a good amount of room back there. And then where it sits height-wise, I think it's a little low, so I'm going to raise it just a little bit, between 1 and 2 inches taller. and that'll be a good spot. Still under the window, and then where I want to sit. I'm 6 foot, so I want to sit even a little taller. The truck is so tall, I just want to sit up a little taller in it. And so, yeah, there's a quick update, and a couple other things I'm worried about are the steering clearance, steering shaft down there to where the power steering will be. And so I'll show you some of that as I get further along. But header clearance, yeah, and then how it's all gonna come together in the engine bay. I'm gonna put the core support in place, mock that into place once I get the engine back in there, and I'll show you that, and you'll get to see how much room there is not in this engine bay. But I think it's gonna make it, so we'll go for it. And I'll start working on mounting the bed. Get that in place. And we'll start getting down to some nitty-gritty mechanicals and do the inside of the cab up. Get this shop truck on the road.